Hello, my name is Luba Shul, and today I'm going to show you how to make nice and healthy chicken bone broth. Now the reasons why I'm doing it the way I am doing it I described in the previous video, which I will link below. The fastest way I discovered to make chicken bone broth is with an instant pot. I can make it within 2 hours, and with pressurizing and depressurizing it's about 2.5 hours. So I already have my chicken ready here, and as I said earlier, I like to have not just bare bones, but for the chicken to have some meat and tissue in it. So I've got here chicken necks and chicken wings. I'm gonna put it in the insert of the Instant Pot, and I'm gonna cover it with water. So I have here 3 pounds of chicken. I think a little more than 3 pounds, but with this recipe you can make more or less a little less than 3 pounds or a little more, it doesn't matter. What I like about this measurement is that when I put it all inside and I cover it with water, then it's exactly enough chicken and enough water for the max feel of the Instant Pot. So you don't have to measure your water. So when you're buying at the store, if you're buying at the counter, you can say I want about 3 pounds of chicken bones, or you can just pick the pre-packaged around 3 pounds and you can just fill the water up to the measuring top. Okay, let's put all this nice chicken in there. And as I said in the previous video, the chicken has to be organic and preferably pasture raised, but you know, sometimes you can't find that, so you have to go with what you have. I think mine is right now just pure organic. I couldn't find this time around chicken bones that are both organic and pasture raised, but this will do. So I put all my bones in there, just the last ones, and I'm gonna fill it with water. I'm using filtered water to make my bone broth. I'm using the big Berkey that's right behind me to filter my water, and I'm filling it up. I will need a little more water to fill it to the max line, and you still will have to disinfect all the surfaces after you've done this. So I'm not gonna put anything besides bay leaf and a few peppercorn in this. So I'm not putting salt or any of the vegetables or any vinegar or wine, anything acidic in it. Because we don't want to extract bad stuff from the bones. Okay, let me grab some bay leaf and peppercorn and I'll be right back. What I like to do is I buy fresh bay leaves and I stick them in the freezer. And when you need them, just take them out and put them in the soup or stew or bone broth, whatever you're making. They're great for flavoring, but they don't disintegrate inside the broth. And I'm gonna get a handful of peppercorns, just drop them in there, put the insert inside. And although peppercorn has the word pepper in them, it's technically not a pepper. It's from a different family, so it's not acidic. So I connected the Instant Pot to the power source, and I'm gonna put saute function, and I'm gonna wait till it starts boiling, and then the foam is gonna start forming on top, and it's very important that you remove that foam. Just do it carefully because you don't want to remove too much of the liquid. Some more foam appeared, so we can keep skimming. So when it will reach the full boil, then you turn off the saute function and just put cancel. And then we will skim the last bits of foam, and then we're gonna close the lid. Put the vent on ceiling. We'll put pressure cook function and pressure level low, and put the timing up to 2 hours. So we'll leave it alone for 2 hours, and then we'll let it depressurize naturally. So I let the Instant Pot depressurize naturally, and it took about 40 minutes for each batch. For this batch, I don't know why each batch could be a little bit different. But anyway, the lever is all the way down, so we're gonna carefully open it and see how it looks inside. Step back a little bit. Open. Let's see. Now I'm gonna start pouring it into the cups, because I always like, when I make bone broth, I always like to drink some fresh one. Of course, I let it cool down before I okay, there's some bits again in it, so let's filter it. Two more. There's also gonna be some fat on top, but we're gonna skim it in a minute. And the rest I'm gonna put in storage containers, and I put in the fridge, and I usually keep them up to 5 days, but I usually finish within 3 days, so I don't have, almost never have bone broth gone bad. So we're gonna filter it for the stainless steel fine mesh to remove any loose bits, and you can observe the color. It's beautiful golden hint, transparent. There's some fat floating around, but when you actually put it in the fridge and you let it cool, you let it cool down first, then put it in the fridge, and then in a few hours you will see the fat all separated on top, and it's really easy to just remove it with spoon. However, they sell fat separators, but I find that with chicken stock it's not that useful, because the fat layer is so thin that it just not end up working. It works like really well when you make gravies and stuff, and it works well. Okay, so this is about full, and then I have over there about as much more. So, and it's not gonna gel as much as if you just cook the bones for 12 hours. But as long as it gets a little bit gooey, then it's good to go. Then you got some collagen, you've got some glucosamines in there, some minerals, some healthy proteins and other nutrients. So now I'm gonna skim some fat from the top of this broth in the cups, and if you let it cool down, you will see it will rise all on top and form one big blob. So it's pretty easy to take out. I mean, of course there's gonna be a little bit of fat, but this is kind of what this is. You kind of have to get a little bit of fat in if you want like a really good quality bone broth. So I've got some fresh, beautiful bone broth right in here with the cups. And if you have noticed, I don't put neither salt nor any kind of vegetables in the beginning of the cooking. But this is right when you cooked it and it's all nice and warm. This is the right time to add your salt in. So So I do a couple of swirls of Himalayan pink salt. Then a couple of swirls of freshly ground, well actually more than a couple, kind of started pretty tough. So, you know, like 3 or 4 good swirls of freshly ground black pepper, and then I'm gonna add garlic. If you add garlic right in the beginning of cooking, all of its property is gonna be gone by the time the broth is done. Of course it's gonna have a little bit of extra flavor, but if you are consuming bone broth for your health, it's better to add garlic right at the end of cooking. Also, when you save your batches of bone broth, when you reheat it for your the day, then you can do all this. You can put your salt, black pepper, you can even put fresh parsley or fresh dill or fresh cilantro, whatever you want, and you can add fresh garlic. The only disadvantage of Instant Pot is that if you adhere to my philosophy of cooking bone broth, you can't add any vegetables to it because you have to depressurize it, repressurize it, since I believe it's beneficial to add vegetables almost at the end of the cooking. So if you like plain bone broth with just a little bit of flavoring of your choice, I put a little too much, then you can use Instant Pot. The goal here is to minimize the cooking time, so the harmful elements from the bone is not going to leach into your broth. Okay. And if you don't want to have bad breath from your fresh garlic, then you remove this part, this middle part. You cut it in half, and you remove this one, and just cut it up, put it in your garlic squeezer, and squeeze it, and you should have minimized your bad breath. So I mix it really well. And I'm gonna actually call a person to test it, a person who really likes bone broth. We'll see what he's got to say. So this is Brandon, and he really likes bone broth, so he's gonna give it a test and see what he thinks. Okay, let's try it.
See how it goes.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Like it?
Yeah. Taking this with me.
Yeah, I'll give you a container to go.
What's in it? Is it onion?
This is a fresh squeezed garlic and
Okay.
some Himalayan salt and freshly ground black pepper. But otherwise it's just chicken, water, bay leaf, and a few peppercorns.
Very good.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below. Bye!